Merhaba, sinema dünyasındaki son gelişmelerin nabzını tuttuğumuz yeni bir bölümle tekrar karşınızdayız. Yeni hafta, yeni filmler demek. İzlemediğimiz film kalmayacak demek. Hepsinden bir haberdar olalım dilerseniz. Sinemaskop'a başlayalım.
God help you.
Darren Aronofsky'nin Javier Bardem ve Jennifer Lawrence'lı gerilim filmi Mother izleyicisini ürpertecek ve bir o kadar da merak içinde bırakacak. Sakin bir hayat süren çiftin ilişkisinin evlerine gelen davetsiz misafirlerin ardından test edilmesi olarak tanımlanan filmi Aronofsky çoğunlukla 16 mm kameralarla çekerek adeta eski amatör ruhunu yeniden sinemaya taşıyor. Arrival'ın müziklerini besteleyen John Johnson ise filmin müziklerini besteleyen kişi olarak yapım ekibinde yerini alıyor. Korku ve gerilimin yanında psikolojik öğelerin de etkisini hissettiren film bakın nasıl çekilmiş.
You scared me.
This film happened really quick. It was an idea I had, and I wrote down, and 2 weeks later I woke up one morning, and in 5 days I wrote it. And it poured out of me like a fever. And the film very much is like being in a fever. And so it was a very different process. I think it has a very different type of feel, a different type of punch than other movies I've done.
Am I going to lose you?
Never. When Jennifer Lawrence was excited about doing the movie, it just answered a lot of dreams, and suddenly we were off and running.
We spend all our time here. I want to make a paradise.
But to play against Jennifer, I needed someone who could stand up next to her, and of course it's Javier Bardem, who's a volcano.
I'm trying to bring life into this house.
And then we had to cast this other couple that come into their lives.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I help you?
And I heard that Michelle Pfeiffer was sort of coming back into the business, and I had been a huge fan, and I met with her, and she was just delightful.
Please, come in.
He's a stranger. We're just going to let him sleep in our house.
And then I brought in Ed Harris, the great, the legendary, the original, and put them all together, and it was great. It was a great cast.
He has pictures of you in his luggage.
What were you doing in their luggage?
Even though the film is super intense and there's a lot of intensity, we try to have a good time on set as much as possible. We try to stay relaxed. But when the emotions pour out, the emotions pour out. So there was one day where Jen had to go really deep, and she went really out there and was hyperventilating, and we had to put her on oxygen, and we had to calm her down. But she was a trooper, and 15 minutes later we were shooting again. So she just blew me away.
They've come here to see me.
Come quick. You give and you give and you give. It's just never enough. No! Hello.
Hello.
Did you know he had a wife? Michelle Pfeiffer comes in, which, as an audience member, Michelle Pfeiffer's character blows in, and it's just an entirely different energy. And I loved it. I felt like I was watching Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie, like I was watching a football game. God help you.
Michelle's a living legend. I mean, I would say of all the actors that we cast in the movie, before I met her and before we started working together, I was definitely the most intimidated by the idea of working with Michelle Pfeiffer. But she was great. I mean, she's very. She also brought a darkness that was unexpected to her role, but also relatability. She's very relatable, and you kind of understand where she's coming from with a lot of the things she's doing, which kind of makes a kind of very interesting pull and play between Michelle and Jennifer.
Why don't you want kids? Excuse me? I saw how you reacted earlier. I know what it's like when you're just starting out and you think you have all the time in the world. And, you're not going to be so young forever. Have kids. Then you'll be creating something together. This is all just setting. Oh, you do want them. I loved working with this cast. Everybody was just so talented, and you know, it was really challenging artistically because Darren does these wild, really long masters where he's weaving in and out of rooms and up stairways and down stairways, and you're sort of jumping over cables and coming in and leaving the, and it's wild, and yet it was very thrilling. It was exciting, and it's a fun part for me. It's I guess unlike anything I've really ever played, or maybe anything I've sort of played in a long time. And I took some risks for Darren that I wouldn't have normally.
He has pictures of you in his luggage.
What were you doing in their luggage?
I think with Michelle, that allowed her to just completely bloom and go for it, and not care, and be willing to do stuff that was wild and crazy like she does in the film. And you know, I think I talked to her at one point, and I think when she read it on the page, she completely got she may not have fully figured out the film, but she completely understood her character and what I was trying to do with her character. And you know, so it was a blast every day having her on set. Of course, the tremendous beauty, but just the depth of her skill is remarkable.
Doing scenes with Michelle was just phenomenal. She's so effortless with it. She just kind of easily goes into this place, and then I feel like she made me better. Can I help you?
You're welcome to stay here as long as you want.
Who are all these people?
They've come to see me.
Working with the actors, we came up with this very simple film language, but it actually made our jobs very complicated. The entire film is from Jennifer's point of view. There's no wide shots, there's no inserts. So to be prepared for that, to really make sure it worked, we wanted to rehearse it for a couple of months and then actually shoot it with a video camera and cut it together and see if it would work. Action! It's all the veterans I've worked with on most of my films. I've got Matthew Libatique on camera, who has done 6 movies with me: Black Swan, Pi, Requiem for a Dream, Noah, The Fountain. There's actually more VFX shots in this film than there is in Noah. A huge $115 million film had less shots than Mother, which was a huge undertaking we never thought we would have to face.
God help you. Get out of my house!
It's scary as all hell, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch it with an audience.
What did you do?
Yoğun bir sinema turunun ardından Sinemaskop'un sonuna geldik. Haftaya yine dolu dolu bir bölümle aynı gün ve saatte ekranlarınızda karşınızda olacağız. Hafta içi boyunca sinemadan haberdar olmak istiyorsanız da sizleri sosyal medya hesaplarımıza bekliyoruz. Sinemasız kalmayın. İzlemediğiniz film de kalmasın. Hoşça kalın.